Okay. All right. Thanks, Commissioner.
Congressman Cummings. When we look at this whole issue, going back to what Mr. Brady was saying, and we're trying to figure out the unemployment rate and jobs lost, whatever. We're talking about net. Is that right? In other words, it's not that jobs are not being created. It's that you're looking at an overall kind of picture. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's actually true. Some of our data suggests that literally 1 million people are hired a week, even now during a recession. But 1 million people lose their job as well. So the numbers we give you are net numbers.
And, you know, looking at the long-term unemployed, that's basically people that have been unemployed for at least 6 months. Is that right?
That's correct.
And 23.6%, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, of those people have been unemployed for more than a year. In other words, prior to this, I mean, very early on in this administration. Is that right?
That's correct.
So a lot of these people lost their jobs a long time ago. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, let me ask you this. Since last fall, you brought us unemployment figures that slowly crept down from 10.2% to now 9.7% for 2 consecutive months. Would it be fair to say that the labor market has stabilized, or is that a word that you even use?
It's not. It's a word I'd hesitate to lose a bit, but it is
to use. Yeah, so you said to lose. Use.
Yeah, I meant to use. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, no, but it is fact. It is true that the job loss has moderated considerably. To where we're fairly close to neither gains nor losses for the last 4 months. So that is consistent with the idea of possibly stabilizing.
And as I close, let me just say this: that you know, sometimes I listen to my good friends on the Republican side, and it's not that anybody is trying, and I'm sure the chairman would agree with me, Chairman Case would agree with me, nobody's trying to paint a rosy picture. We're very realistic. But we refuse to look and see a difference between 729,000 jobs lost in January 2009 and 26,000 lost in January of 2010 and say that's not significant. We want, again, every single American working. But, you know, when we talk about the stimulus, and a lot of people beat up on the stimulus, and I tell you, I had one of the most interesting experiences about 3 weeks ago in Baltimore, in my district, where we hired 50 police officers who would not have been hired, if it were not for the stimulus. And to see these young officers be hired, and these are people that we desperately need. And so, you know, I think that a lot of people have beat up on Summers and the president and the administration saying, oh, you predicted this would happen in this amount of time, this would happen. Trying to predict is not always easy, as we can see from just our interaction with regard to these statistics. But the fact still remains that we are, I do believe, moving in the right direction. And I always say, you know, I believe in cheering for the home team. So often what happens is we spend so much time looking at the doom and gloom that we don't see the progress that we are making. And so I want to thank you again, Mr. Hall, for your testimony. I want to thank your staff. And hopefully next month when we come back, we'll be able to have an even stronger report for the American people and with regard to the employment situation here in our country. And thank you very much.
Congressman Burgess.